So, guys, a reporter in the USA has given update as to what Trump plans to do next concerning ending the decline of Christians in Nigeria. But before we get into the video, take a look at this headline. It says, breaking, Tinubu fearfully aborts Washington trip. Lobbyists to meet Trump at G20 summit scheduled for November 22nd in South Africa. Now, many Nigerians have reacted considering the fact that Trump has since September 5th announced that he will not be attending that meeting. So Nigerians are wondering why the Tinubu's government decided to meet Trump at South Africa when Trump is not going to be attending that meeting. And that has come with a whole lot of reactions. Many Nigerians have said that Tinubu is afraid to enter the US and that if Tinubu enters the US that he might end up not coming back. There've been a lot of reactions. Anyway, I'm going to allow you to take a look at that, at the video coming from a reporter in the USA. Rufai and Dr. Bate have equally reacted to all this. And then I'm going to be taking you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians after discovering that the Tinubu's government scheduled this meeting for South Africa, knowing that Trump will not be present. Now take a look.
Here in a chilly, rainy Washington, where there was a lot of surprise over the weekend. On Saturday, President Trump announced that he was potentially going to take strikes within Nigeria to protect Christians there. He then on Sunday, yesterday, actually reiterated his desire to protect Christians in Nigeria. And so we are beginning to wake up here in Washington with a lot of questions. Will there be U.S. military efforts in Nigeria?
Okay, James. Well, let me just, for purposes of clarification, is there any action against the groups responsible for sectarian violence? Would by necessity, the necessity for Nigerian intelligence getting assistance as they are so embedded into the country. Don't you think success will be very difficult without this intelligence element?
You know, you're absolutely right. The president has stated his desire to, potentially use military action, but as we all know, it would be very difficult and actually impossible to do any action within Nigeria without the support of Nigerian intelligence. Policy analysts here believe that this is an opportunity for Nigeria to partner with the United States, with the United States Department of War, as it's now called, to try to figure out what could be done jointly. Sharing of intelligence, sharing of information, sharing of strategies for the U.S. and for Nigeria to partner and to do something together. I think it would be very, very unlikely for the U.S. to move within Nigeria militarily on its own.
Thank you, James. The president's team would, by necessity, need small teams, possibly from a joint task force, Horn of Africa. Don't you think this is the kind of operation they specialize in?
Yes, it is absolutely the operation that the JTF Horn of Africa, which is based in Djibouti, Camp Lemonnier, this is their specialty. I had the really good fortune a few years ago to make one of the first visits by television journalists to that camp. And basically what it has done through the years is to fight insurgencies across the African continent. And these are small strike forces that have gone into countries and really with the support of the local government, of the local military, of the local intelligence, have been able to sort of put an end to some of these insurgent movements. I think the challenge in this instance is how would you do that in a country as large as Nigeria, where these incidents are happening in different places, and as you know, in some urban places. And so, yes, there is expertise within the region, but the question is, could it act independently? Could it act without the support of Nigerian intelligence? That seems highly impossible.
So U.S. African Command is based in Germany, and are they officials? Are they aware of this development already, James?
Yeah, they are aware of it in the same way that we're all aware of it. We've learned it through the tweets of the president on his Truth social media app. And so, of course, if something were to happen, African Command, which is based in Germany, would certainly know more about it. if you look at sort of the way President Trump has operated most recently with the attacks on ships that have been hauling drugs in the Atlantic and in the Pacific, those things happened without any mention of the fact that they were going to happen. They were just sort of really done on surprise. So in some ways, some policy analysts are saying that the fact that the president has announced his desire to do this is a real opportunity for Nigeria. You will note that the U.S. and South Africa have in the past been very, very close allies. That relationship is changing. You will recall the president of South Africa visited the Oval Office with 2 South African golfers. And really, President Trump sort of created a show about the number of white South Africans who've been murdered. The facts were not exactly accurate. In fact, they were quite off. But in a surprise move, the refugee numbers that the U.S. has agreed to admit moving forward for this year is now 7,500. That's the lowest it's ever been. And those numbers are largely reserved for white South Africans. And so that relationship has soured. Some people are suggesting that Nigeria could seize the moment, find a partnership, and really embrace this offer and really work with the United States to find a way to move forward together.
But even if Nigeria decides to accept this move by President Trump, what would this mean for U.S.-Nigeria relations? That is the question.
I think that's a good question. And I think, given Nigeria's reliance on oil, given President Trump's real desire to continue to import oil and continue to use oil instead of more green energy sources, I think there could be an opening for a real partnership. I think the challenge, as you know, Nigeria is a large country with many, many groups. And, in the South, it is primarily Christian. In the North, it is primarily Muslim. And so I think the characterization of Christian lives being under attack around the country, I think that's a bit of an overstatement. However, I do think that there is an opportunity for Nigerian interests and Nigerian diplomats to find a way to embrace the interest and use the interest to the country's advantage.
Early or way into the administration, and we're suffering from that challenge of having ambassadors who could actually, put our views right across, especially in the U.S. And people had advised the Tinubu administration previously that if they had said that they didn't have enough money for all the whole postings, what of key countries in the world like the U.S., the EU, and all, just have ambassadors there who are able to project the country at least better, because in the face of better facts, I think that the U.S. wouldn't have gone the route that they've taken at the moment. And that's why I want to say that there's the call for people like Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, who was the one who, brought that idea of concert of media was people like Emeka Anyaoku and all of that. All those people are needed beside the president right now. I heard you earlier on, Dr. Abati, saying that we need men in the room, elders in the room. Yes, indeed, that is what we actually need now. The presidency should not be emotional about what is happening. Are there killings happening across the country? Yes, there have been killings. Who are these people who have been doing this? Well, most of them have been pro-jihadist groups and all of that. And even religious clerics and all of that, who don't have a clearer perspective of what's happening, have had instances to say things that infuriate these actors, including the military that's trying to fight on behalf of citizens. So if there's a call for all leaders of the country to come together and project the statehood of Nigeria rather than looking at it from a partisan position, I think that call is what President Tinubu should be doing. And the good thing is that the government has been meeting. They started talking yesterday. Sources who have been speaking with Arise News told us that the National Security Advisor, other ministers in government and all of that, they've been meeting with the presidency to actually project a united front. But there must be a bipartisan approach to this issue, because that is the only way we can be able to put our message out. And the presidency must look for ways of appeasing the minorities in the country, because the minorities are suffering, whether religious minorities or ethnic minorities, especially in the north. And that's where I would like to situate it together with the question you had asked about Professor Dokna and Sheni and others coming together to come and say that they are going to have a political summit. Look, why must it be only a political summit that will come together? Why is it only when it comes to the elections that we start forming all these political groups and coming for? Why can't we convert a meeting on security? Because the North, for example, is the one at the center of this conversation, these discussions. What are Northern leaders doing to support the federal government? Yes, I know that there's the issue of politics, because whatever is happening right now is not new. In 2014, don't forget, Dr. Abati, you have a situation where APC leaders took themselves from Nigeria, including late General Muhammadu Buhari, who was the then presumption candidate of the APC, and went to meet John Kerry, former Secretary of State, to the U.S. government, and laid down all of this. And you could see that the U.S. took all the things that they said to heart, and since then the U.S. has been documenting everything that's been happening. And close to the 2015 election, John Kerry came to the country, and the U.S. tried to play an influence. Now, if we are reversing the situation, APC is now in government after having chased PDP out, and they are facing the same thing. So our politicians should know that it's not about political party or political actors, but about the interests of the country, because tomorrow APC may not be in power, but the issue will continue. So political leaders should be meeting across the country on taming the monster of insecurity, reducing the religious rhetoric, and then, of course, reducing the ethnic rhetoric that's ongoing. This is not a problem for the Bola Tinubu administration. It's a problem for all of us, because the U.S. has started ethnic profiling, profiling of ethnic leaders, profiling of political leaders. And if all of these leaders are listed, most of these people who are quiet in the face of these issues may not be able to have their houses abroad, still belonging to them, or move out of the country because of visa restrictions and all of that. So Nigeria is on the table, and we must speak as Nigerians. And then the issues of the opposition PDP. Well, these are self-inflicted issues, and we've seen that happening over and over. Will the PDP convention still hold? Yes. I mean, if the PDP officials are smart about it, they can still go and ask for a stay of execution and then appeal the judgment and then go ahead to conduct. Because if you look at the Damagun-led ESCO now, they just have about a month left before they're able to conclude their tenure. But the judge who delivered this judgment to has to be very careful not to destroy our democracy. Why? Because how can it be that a political party, a former governing party, doesn't have a national leadership after the expiration of the former tenure of the Damagun tenure? Wouldn't that be a recipe for crisis? And that's why the Supreme Court has previously ruled that the internal affairs of political parties should not be tampered upon by the courts. But it looks like the courts are beginning to infiltrate into that. And it's like stopping an arm of government from not performing its duties. Can any arm of government do that? If you do that, that's a recipe for chaos. In the midst of what we have, the challenges and all of that, if the opposition is not allowed to go into the election alongside the governing party, we may have a crisis like is happening in Tanzania, where, for example, Tundu Lissu, the major opposition leader, is locked up. President Samia Suluhu is, quote, said to have won the election, but the victory cannot be celebrated on the streets because of what's happening. So we should all be careful. Every arm of government, let's not infuriate what is happening. And then in the midst of the allegations or counter-allegations of a coup and all of that, our democracy must be stable. We must support the current administration to ensure that we have a country to call ours. The actions of opposition leaders too must be called to question. Why is it that the PDP can't solve its own problem? Why are they embarking on exclusionary politics? When you print forms, and it's only one form that you're printing, like it happened with the likes of Sule Lamido being exempted from purchasing forms, isn't that a call for chaos? Well, there should be a very strong warning by the elders of the country, by statesmen, to the PDP that it is not the only opposition political party in the country. So it should not make the country hot. Let's ensure that there's an environment that works for everyone and not the playing of exclusionary politics.
All right, thank you very much. So now I'd like to ask that you expand on what you said around the fact that based on the Northern Elders Forum and some stakeholders in the North coming together to have a united front politically that why haven't they done this for other issues concerning the North? And I want to say this across other key stakeholders who see, the lives being killed and have done nothing about this. What do you think they ought to be doing to complement the diplomatic efforts of the presidency themselves? What should elders, northern elders, be doing? What should the Christian community be doing? What should other key stakeholders be doing at this time?
Thank you, Ayo. Good enough. The leadership of the Arewa Consultative Forum last week met with the Vice President. I mean, they are holding their 25th year anniversary sometime this month. And it's going to be an opportunity where a whole lot of leaders will gather in Kaduna. But before then, we're in a crisis. Just like the northern leaders, gathered together when we had a crisis with Niger Republic, with religious clerics coming together. President Tinubu should sit down with some of these northern leaders, bring them to the, Asura Presidential Villa, sit down and issue very strong warnings. Like President Tinubu himself knows what is going on in the north. He cannot say he doesn't know. But the thing is that the fear of taking actions ahead of his 2027 presidential ambition is what is stopping him from embarking not only on these issues of security, including the issues of reforms. Don't forget the APC-led federal government had promised us under the Tinubu campaign organization that they were going to bring a whole lot of reforms. But those reforms, ask yourself, including the El Rufai committee that was a report that was submitted to the APC, what have happened to those reforms? Those reforms have not been able to kick off because President Tinubu is afraid that if he does embark on some of these reforms, that the North may not go with him. But the thing is about statesmanship. Must you get a second term before the country can be on the right pedestal? Mm-hmm. And also, our religious leaders and clerics and others, political leaders in the North, are we not tired of the killings that are happening?
That's
because the North is at the table of this conversation that's ongoing. And in conclusion, the monarchs in the North also owe President Tinubu a responsibility of meeting together to support the federal government to ensure that the statements that are coming out are statements that actually work for the entire country and not just looking like it's just an APC problem or a Tinubu administration problem. These problems have been with us since 2009 when Mohammed Yusuf, the Boko Haram leader, came on board and he was killed. But the issues have not been addressed.
Let me quickly take you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians as Tinubu fearfully aborts his trip to the US. And let's see what Nigerians are saying. This person say allegedly Tinubu, that FBI is looking for him. So this other person here says that the same Trump way say he no go attend. Abi Trump day too. This person saying that Tinubu's government is fixing meeting that Trump will not be attending. And this person say this kind of lobby, Abi, and showing a photo of Tinubu being isolated during an international gathering. Now, this one is saying, oh my God, you need to see this image here. I can't even share it here, where lifeless people that have been unalive in their numbers were being laid. This is coming from Plateau, Benue. Oh my God. It's sure these people have really done enough to this country. Anyway, let's see how more Nigerians are reacting to Tinubu trying to confuse Nigerians with the meeting with Trump. Here, this one says, an FBI customer can never attract respect from Trump. He should get to work and end the terrorism and stop looking for how to promise Trump some deals in exchange for time. This other person said, Trump guns on Nigeria. Why the world sees Christian genocide, but Abuja calls it fake news. This person is saying that the world is saying that Christians are being killed, but the presidency is saying it is fake news. Okay, this person went ahead to say, let's talk about hypocrisy and selective blindness. When Donald Trump spoke about Christian genocide in Nigeria, the global elite called him controversial. But tell me what's controversial about speaking the truth? Churches are being burnt. Villages are wiped out overnight. Farmers are slaughtered on their fields. Yet Abuja says it's fake news. How many times will Nigeria bury their beloved ones before the government admits there's religious war going on? How many pastors, women, children must die before someone calls it what it is, that is a jihad against Christians? The same government that pardons and rehabilitates Boko Haram fighters refuses to compensate victims living like beggars in IDP camps. Abuja will host fancy conferences about peace and unity, but silence screams from Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, and Taraba every night. Trump might be hated by the media, but he was one of the few world leaders who dared to say it out loud. Christians in Nigeria are being haunted. He saw what Abuja does what Abuja doesn't want the world to see, and there's quiet genocide happening under cover of herder-farmer conflict. This person went ahead to say, why is it so hard for Nigerian government to protect its own citizens? Why is the endless denial? Why the silence from those who swore they owe to defend every Nigerian life, Christian life, and Muslim? You can jail journalists, censor report, or call every truth fake news. But blood doesn't lie. Graves don't lie. And history will remember who stood with the victims and who called their suffering a hoax. So guys, this is what Nigerians are saying, that the Tinubu's government is silent. Now Donald Trump is trying to speak up for the people. They call it fake news. This person, no, Tinubu should go to America so that after the discussion he will address the press and take direct questions. This person say Trump has already declared that he is not going to G20 summit. So where is Tinubu going to see him? Why is he so afraid of Trump? And this other person say, well, Trump wouldn't be attending the G20 summit in South Africa. These APC guys just love propaganda. Our president is fearfully advised. Bulldog Trump from making advice. Bulldog Trump for make news around the world. Oga Tinubu, book open on him, and he may not return as a president. This person said he knows he risks getting arrested. And this person said Trump may be done with his mission by November 2022. This person say na big slap ink for collect from Trump. Another person say make him enter US, make them grab Amabi. This person say ha, he for enter na useless president. Another person here say the fear of going to US is the beginning of wisdom. And this person say he knows what awaits him if he dare steps his feet in US. By the way, why is he running? This person, did you know that the number of people that will be killed by these terrorists before then? Another person say Trump set fast. This person say criminal chickens out. He will never see him face to face. So many Nigerians are trying to say that Tinubu is just afraid of meeting with Trump. And why is he afraid? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you. So guys, let's speak about this headline on the Twitter space where some of the northerners are just making statements that are unfounded. We know since all this invasion has been going on, you hardly see the northerners coming out to knock on these bandits. Nobody has come out boldly to ask for the prosecution of these bandits. They keep protecting these people, and that is why the menace is not ending. And we all know that, some people actually call these Boko Haram members northern fighters. They say any attack on them, people like the Sultan is said to have said that they are fighters, that any attack on Boko Haram is attack on the north. Buhari equally made such a statement. And then Garba, there's this guy, Adamu Garba, he also said that Boko Haram are their local fighters. And now, you can see this is one of the things that breeded these people in the north, because the northerners were not speaking up, they were not saying anything. And now that Donald Trump is like a savior, especially to the south, because for the north they are comfortable with the pain of their people. And when the Christians start lamenting that Christians are being killed, they say Muslims are being killed. Muslims are being killed by who? By your people. Why are you not preaching in the mosque? Stop killing. Why are you not telling the people that your religion does not support it? If indeed your religion does not support it, everybody is mute. And now that Donald Trump has come to the rescue of the people, the northerners are now speaking up, because it has to do with their fighters. Now this person here says, according to Arise TV on Twitter space, he says, we are not a colony of the United States and we owe them no explanation for how we run our domestic affairs. Bashar Dal-Hatu. This is somebody saying that, okay, Boko Haram does not target Christians or Muslims. These insurgents seek headlines and kill indiscriminately because they operate in predominantly Muslim areas. Most of their victims are Muslim. This is what this man is saying. So these people didn't see, all the IDP camps scattered in Benue, Plateau, Taraba, Nasarawa, and even in southern Kaduna. They didn't see all those, They are now saying that it is more on their part. By who? By your Muslim brothers. Why are you not shouting? Why are you not speaking up? Why are you not saying we don't want it, Now, let's take a look at how some Nigerians have reacted to this. Many people are saying that here is what Lai Mohammed have to say about this. Why Boko Haram targets Christians. Hey, you see, this one now is like a kind of making them to know that even the APC itself knows that Boko Haram targets Christian. And also Jonathan was seen to, APC was said to have gone to United States asking for Jonathan to be arrested, over insecurity. And now, under the APC leadership, none of them can talk. So, guys, a whole lot is happening. And this person say he wants to help you kill the terrorists. Is it your internal affair to how terrorists to... is it your internal affairs to allow terrorists to continue killing Nigerians, Christian or Muslim, unchallenged? Are you a terrorist? I think this is very, very good. This person is asking him. It's shocking that only Northerners are against the intervention to demolish terrorists and their sponsors in Nigeria. They say they are the terrorists, or that terrorism is now are they saying that they are the terrorists, or terrorism is not a good thing? I'm confused. The Northerners are now speaking up because it has to do with ending the genocide. This one says President Trump must see this. Instead of these people to keep mute and allow God intervention, they are talking rubbish. Thank God for the last man that spoke wisdom to the question asked there. And this person say Boko Haram does not target Christians, Muslims. The insurgent Sikh headlines are killing. They scream that is false. This person marked it as false, and as if we don't know that what Boko Haram stands for. Their aim and objective is that they have sponsored within the Nigerian government. You are not talking to children. We know their aim, we know their objective, how it was founded in 2002. The group was led by Abubakar Shekau from 2009 until his death in 2021, although it splintered into other groups after Yusuf's death in 2009, as well as in 2015 when the group was first formed. The main goal was to purify, meaning to spread Sunni Islam and destroy Shia Islam in northern Nigeria, believing jihad should be delayed until the group was strong enough to overthrow the government. The group formerly aligned with the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The group has been known for its brutality, and since the insurgents started in 2009, Boko Haram has killed tens of thousands of people in frequent attacks against the police, armed forces, civilians. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of more than 300,000 children and has displaced 2.3 million from. This is just from wiki page or wiki whatever. So this is not even like the main thing, This is not even like the main thing. So points of corrections are: if you fail to clean your mouth, Hamatan will do it for you. When you desire, demand aid, loan, and grant, you will become part of the global community. When accountability is demanded, require, you wear your independence, sovereignty garbage. Okay, when it's time to borrow, you believe that you belong to. Like they went to the UN asking for Africa to have a place of say. The Kenyan government was really demanding for that. But look at the Africa that is messed up, no rule of law, no humanity, in place, and you want to be among those who are observing all these things and making their country to work. Now, this person says, so why are you preparing for war with America instead of going to war with Boko Haram? America only said, do your job or we'll come and do it for you. All this denial only validates to the allegation of grand conspiracy to make killing stay on the radar. So, guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your thoughts. There are a lot of reactions I would have really loved to take after the Northerners are just downplaying the level of insecurity in Nigeria. They just want the Nigeria to just sink, because you hardly see the Northerners coming out to condemn the so-called killing. The Northerners don't. The leaders see all what has been going on in Benue Plateau. You can hardly see the Sultan come out to say, we condemn these bad guys, they are bad. Even Fani Koyode is said to have said in 2009, he said, why are you killing Christians? Read Donald Trump to Buhari. Why are you killing Christians? Buhari asked Donald Trump that. Even Fani Koyode, who is now running his mouth today, also confirmed it when Buhari asked Jonathan, when Tinubu asked Buhari, sorry, when Trump asked Buhari, why are you killing Christians? Here is Sheikh Gumi saying bandits deserve respect, empathy. They have children and family. Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi. So this man has his children in the Nigerian military, and people are asking what is his interior motive. The kind of statements he has made is the one that say the Northerners shouldn't vote for anyone who is going to kill bandits. They should rather vote for anybody who is going to protect bandits. So I think we should really discuss if the North really want to exist with the South. That is just it. That should be the discussion now. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.